games of the year and 100-unit locks? If so, check out the professional handicappers at WagerTalk.com today. We leave all that nonsense for the other guys. And for a limited time, new users get their first daily picks purchase up to $40 for only $1. $1? Whose idea was that? Johnny Detroit? I guess so. To redeem this special, just go to WagerTalk.com, choose a handicapper and their picks package using coupon code TRYWagerTalk when checking out.
Really happy about because I had Man City as a 5% play and they put on an absolute masterclass in that second half. Pep, I'm not sure what he told the team at halftime, but what a game and what a big win for that team. And that comes on the heels of the Tuesday game where Chelsea played a very good game in Spain, and came away with the important away goal in a 1-1 draw. So we still have 2 games, Kev, next week that are big ones, a couple big League Twos. How did you see them? And tell us what you've got going on as far as today in Europa League. And I believe you have a 5% play in NBA tonight.
Yeah, we got a 5% big play up in NBA tonight. We also have a double pack up in Europa League as well. So we came off a winning Champions League midweek 31-19 run now across all soccer plays since April 5th. So pretty happy with that. And yeah, you know, I like talking some club football as well, although I was well impressed, obviously, with City's comeback last night.
All right. Nick, same thing. Nick, you have a 5% play up today in Europa. I'm going to let everyone know if they want to grab that, and I'll mention it again for those tuning in a little later on. Euro 15, the coupon code Euro 15, and they get $15 off of that play of yours today. How are you doing this week, and what else is going on for today?
Yeah, have the 5% play up today. I really love. Coming off a winner, I was also on Man City yesterday. Felt good about that. That was a bounce back from the Chelsea game, which I got cute. Instead of just taking the under like we were talking about, I tried to go both teams to score no. And, of course, that ended like really quickly in that first half. So hoping to keep the momentum going after yesterday and get another winner today. But looking forward to talking a little Premier League here, the winding stretch of the season. So it's all coming to a nice end.
And let me bring in the exact score savant. I want to tell you, Mr. Pavlos Laguretos, I had the Chelsea prop on the Chelsea draw 1-1 against Real Madrid at plus 500. And yesterday I gave my clients the 2-1 Man City exact score prop at plus 800. So they are happy. I'm rivaling you, my friend. Tell me what's going on, what you have going on.
Yeah, it's great that we have this rivalry because, you know, we make correct score predictions and the clients win money. So, I mean, that's great, right? So, yeah, I won my 5% on Tuesday with Real draw and over 1.5 goals, which was rather sweaty because Chelsea were really great in those first minutes of the match. Yesterday, to be honest, I mentioned it on Tuesday, so I'd go with PSG plus half a goal if the price went up. The price did go up, and I did back PSG with half a goal. However, their goalkeeper had a different opinion. He chooses to go Karius style and just let goals slip off his gloves. But yeah, looking forward to today. I have a 10% soccer prop for tonight's matches and a 3-pack for today's matches as well, and a 5% for tomorrow. So let's do this, guys.
Awesome. I like to hear it and wish you the best of luck on those plays. And, you know, I was actually going to put up a poll on Twitter to say who had the worst game as a goalie, if it was Karius of Liverpool versus against Real Madrid in the Champions League final, or if it was Navas yesterday, because in that Kevin De Bruyne goal, I'm not sure what happened there. Even the players, you saw his three of his players just staring at him, saying like, "How do you not stop that curling ball into the corner?" I thought that was probably an easy one, but I'm happy he just let it in. Anyways, for those of you watching or tuning in and you're wondering why on a Thursday where there's 2 Europa League games, we're not covering those games, we did cover them on our Tuesday show. You can find those in our WagerTalk library here on YouTube. So you can check that. Look for Tuesday, April 27th stoppage time, and you'll find the 2 Europa League games that we covered for today and our opinions on those games. All right, let's get right to it, guys. Game 1, Crystal Palace, Man City. Crystal Palace plus 900 at home. The draws plus 450. Man City. Overnight, this line was minus 334. I see it this morning at minus 300, and the total is at 2.75, which is a split line of 2.5 and 3. Pavlos, I'm going to go to you first on this one. And we know, I just mentioned it, City come off sort of a masterclass second half against the PSG. And now they still have a big game next week. And I have to think, while a win here literally gives them the PL title, the title is theirs. I have to think with that big game ahead that there's going to be a massive rotation in this side by Pep. I think you might see guys sitting out like De Bruyne, Foden, some of the back line, Diaz, Stones, Ederson probably won't even start in goal. But that's the quality they have on the bench is probably still good enough to beat this Palace side that seems to have packed it in once they were safe. Give me your thoughts on this game.
Yeah, City, they did great. They proved yet again that I think each of their previous 4 Champions League matches on the road in which they conceded the first goal, they ended up winning them. So that was another great display of a great team that they don't lose their whatever when they go down a goal. So yeah, Crystal Palace, they're sitting at the 13th spot of the league table. They are 11 points ahead of the relegation zone. So they're not actually trying to prove something. They can't be relegated. Most likely, they can't challenge any of the top 7 spots that lead to the European competitions. So they literally have nothing to play for. Last season, in the final 8 matches, they had, I think, 7 losses and a draw, which means that they pretty much gave up once all their targets were met. Actually, their only target was to avoid the relegation. So we might see an indifferent Crystal Palace side here. As you said, Manchester City will probably rotate most of the squad. So I wouldn't expect a high-scoring match here. Maybe the under 2 and 3/4 goals at minus 104. I think that's the way to go here. Maybe City win by 1-0, 2-0. Maybe 1-2 at worst case scenario. You get half of your bet back, and the other half is a push. So yeah, I think I'll go with the under 2 and 1/4 goals here.
Yeah, Nick, I'm going to go to you next on this one. And Pavlos makes a good point. I'm looking at I just don't see how that we see a ton of goals in this game. It's one of those games where I think the City does just what they need to do to win, but it's not a game where we see City winning 3-0, 4-0 type of game. And I don't know what we're going to get from Crystal Palace on the weekend. What are your thoughts here?
Well, I'm pretty confident here that City, obviously it's not an ideal scheduling spot sandwiched between, the Champions League, but they're so deep. Sergio Aguero didn't even play this past match. And if you're going to be rotating your squad, which obviously Pep's going to be, he's your guy, right? The guy that's led the team in scoring for like 10 years. Pretty good there. The magic number for them is 2, right? 2 wins, and they clinch this thing. It could actually happen this weekend if Liverpool knock off Man United, which I think is a good chance, and I guess we'll cover that a little bit later. But really, Palace, to me, nothing to play for. They're in that sweet spot, safe from relegation, unable to get the European berth. I think, Roy Hodgson probably does some rotation here, try to get some different lineups together, get some effort, or get an effort to get some momentum and get excited about for next year. So I don't think it'll be necessarily high scoring, but I also don't think it's going to be, a really close match. I think City laying the 1.5 is safe here. Palace has had a couple remarkable wins over City in the years, but there's still a long history of City dominating Palace, and I don't see much other difference here. I think a lot of the guys that'll get a chance to play for City are going to do their best and going to come in and go lights out and try to get this thing to win the Premier League and end it before they have to possibly before they have to go back to and play Real Madrid next week. They might be able to lift the pedal, but I like -1.5 here. I think it's a safe play.
Kev, he makes some good points, and yeah, we didn't see Raheem Sterling didn't feature or come in that game that was played on Wednesday, the Champions League game, and then you've got Aguero as well too. So you've got the scoring, more than enough talent on that bench. I don't see them losing this game, but I feel uncomfortable laying a goal and a half because I just don't know what we're going to get out of them. What are your thoughts?
Well, first off, this is the dreaded early kickoff, which we always try and avoid. So Palace probably win this one 3-0. But, there's not much to add here. I thought both guys made some excellent points. If I'm playing this one, I'm going to agree with Pavlos here. I'm going to look towards the under. City will know a win here likely seals the title for them, depending, as Nick said, and what happens in that Liverpool United game on Sunday. But, even though we know the title race is all but over now, it's still a big difference when you actually make it official. So to put that stamp on the books and move on to try and focus on European and Cup matters, that's semi-important still, the City here. I think City, because of that, they'll try and eke out a narrow win, no doubt, nothing too fancy, try and protect that backup squad from any kind of injuries and, kind of look to strangle Palace out of it through a load of possession. And while I don't expect City to put on any kind of show here, I still can't trust Palace in the plus 1.5 handicap, for all the reasons Nick said there. City have scored at least 2 goals against Palace in 11 of the last 12 head-to-heads between the pair. And I'm not sure Palace can score here. So under 3 goals for me in this one is around -140, just to put it up a notch from where Pavlos said. I agree with the bookmakers. They have City 2-0 correct scores, the most likely. And, I would be on board with that as well.
Yeah, and that was the score in the reverse fixture, I think last season, at the beginning of last season, the first game. 2-0 City at Crystal Palace. So maybe something along those lines as well. All right, second game, another team that is has a big Leg 2 Champions League game next week. Chelsea, they are at home against Fulham. They are still in a battle for a Champions League spot in PL play. 3 points ahead of West Ham, 6 points ahead of Everton, although Everton do have a game in hand. And they still have a tough schedule ahead, playing Man City, Arsenal, and Leicester in league play. So not the easiest run out sandwiched around a Champions League game. So this one I would think is should be viewed as a big one for them. 3 points that they need and they should get against a Fulham team that are 7 points in 18th place, 7 points needed to get out of that relegation zone. It doesn't look like that's going to happen. But they're not coming here to play for a draw. They're going to come here to try and pick up 3 points. Chelsea -223. The draw is +333. Fulham +650. The total is 2.5. Nick, I'll go to you first on this one.
Yeah, another bad scheduling spot here for Chelsea, just like City has. Both teams need a win. I mean, Chelsea obviously top 4. Fulham, the draws will no longer help them. They have to go for wins, and that's pretty much all they can go for. And for that reason, I don't like Chelsea laying the goal here. It's a bad spot for them, but I do think they're going to win the game, especially with Fulham chasing the game. So I was looking at a combo play here of taking Chelsea plus under 3.5 goals, which you're getting about even money. I think I was able to get plus 105 on it. It's just something where we know Chelsea's pedigree on their defense. I mean, it's now 20 of 22 games with Tuchel as manager that they've stayed under 3.5 goals. And on the entire season for Fulham, they have they've only had 4 of their 33 Premier League games go over 3.5 goals. So a lot of trends here pointing to the under as a safe play. And if Chelsea take a 1-0 lead, I just feel like they're going to sit back. They're going to park the bus. They're going to just see this thing out. And it's going to be very difficult for Fulham to penetrate that defense, as pretty much everybody has found. Kevin has brought up a couple times how Chelsea's laid an egg, though, against some of the weaker teams. So it's not a huge play that I'm excited about. They do have draws against Leeds, Brighton, Southampton. But then, of course, they beat everybody that's good in the world. So it doesn't make a lot of sense. But, again, I think Chelsea has the depth for sure that they should be able to win this game, and they need to. If they didn't need to, I would stay the hell away from this thing. But they need the points. And with Fulham pushing for the win, if this thing's draw, in a 1-1 draw or something like that near the end of the game, I think it could open up a counter up for Chelsea to actually go ahead and steal the game because Fulham just can't simply draw this game.
Yeah, and Kev, I'm going to go to you next on this one. And let's be honest, if Chelsea did not have a game in midweek coming up and they were in this spot in fourth, holding on to this Champions League spot, this line would not be Chelsea minus 223 and favored by a goal. This line would be probably about minus 280, minus 290, and a goal and a half, a goal and a quarter. It's still a big game for them. You know what I mean? And they have enough quality on the bench that as Nick says, they can bring in guys and win this game. I know we're going to disagree on this, Kev, but I'm going to put this one out there for the folks in the chat. Chelsea, the prop, Chelsea to win and over 2.5 goals in this game, plus 140. I really like that prop bet. I think the fact that Fulham cannot just sit back and defend and try and park the bus and get a point does nothing for this team. They're going to have to open it up a bit, and that probably plays into the hands of this blue squad.
Yeah, I mean, we are going to disagree here because I'll say this now. There's absolutely no way, whether I end up in Fulham or not in this spot, there's absolutely no way I can take Chelsea here, even without all the Champions League midweek distractions and the need to win and all this we've talked about. Nick said, in his egg speech, we're starting to see a pattern with this Chelsea team right now in regards to the different levels of opponent they play. Leicester had this problem also in terms of breaking down teams. They can beat Liverpool, Manchester City, Tottenham, Atletico Madrid, and so on, all fairly comfortably. But they can't beat Brighton, they can't beat Leeds, they can't beat Southampton, West Brom, so on. This has been going on a while now, and they need to win. This has been going like they failed to win earlier in the way, like last week as well. So I don't want any part of them here, at minus money facing teams 10 to below in general. So I'm a Scott Parker fan. Despite where his team lies in the league this season, he's built up a ton of resilience in this squad. We have to remember that this was a team who allowed 3 goals to Arsenal, 3 goals to Aston Villa, 4 to Leeds, and so on over the opening month of the season, 0 points as well. So, by the start of October, they really looked as though they were going to be blown apart early in this campaign and go straight down like a lead balloon. So since then, I mean, you have to admire what he's done there. The level of guts this team is showing right now, beating Liverpool, getting incredibly unlucky over the last 2 games, giving up 92 and 97th minute goals against Arsenal and Wolves respectively. And results that unfortunately could doom them for this season. I think Fulham fight hard here. We know it's a London derby. We know this, while it's an important game for Chelsea, this is survival for Fulham. So obviously it's important for them too. Despite all that, I do semi-agree with you guys. I think Chelsea, because of their quality, because they need to win, I think they just about get the job done here and sneak this game. So I actually like the prop Chelsea to win by exactly 1 goal. Is going off a plus 240. I think that's a great price and something that will likely make my card possibly ahead of Saturday, as I expect nothing less than another gutsy performance from Fulham. They're a very hard team to beat, even for the top teams. So, tough London derby. Chelsea to win by exactly 1 goal, plus 240.
Well, Chelsea to win by exactly 1 goal, plus 240 still falls in the line of Chelsea and over 2.5 goals. For me, a 2-1 result gets you there. A 3-2 result gets you there. A 4-3 result. They're not scoring 3 goals against Chelsea. But Fulham's going to have to do something they haven't done in 15 plus years, that's the last time and only time they've beaten this Chelsea squad. And at Stamford Bridge, they have gone there 15 times and left with 9 losses and 6 draws. I've yet to win there. I don't see it happening this weekend, but I guess we will see. Thank God it's not the 7:30 game, Kev, because I can completely skip that one. I think we all hate that early game. All right, let's head over to the next game, guys. Pavlos. I didn't get your word on this. Give me your thoughts on this game. I don't want to miss out on you, my friend. Sorry.
No problem. I think these guys said everything. I had Chelsea to win by 1. Chelsea to win and under 3.5 goals. You guys just hit it on the head. What I would like to say about Fulham is the fact that they've only lost 1 of their last 11 away matches. They beat Liverpool on the road. They beat Everton on the road. They had draws against Tottenham and Arsenal. So As Kevin said, they are in survival mode right now. They're kill or be killed or whatever. So I wouldn't be surprised if they sneak maybe an early goal or a late goal or something. So the under 2.5 goals at -110 could be the way to go. But as you said, they just definitely need a win here. This match could go either way. Logic dictates that this will be an under, but logic just went out the window like a year ago. So, yeah, Chelsea are in between their Champions League matches. Again, I wouldn't be surprised by a low-scoring match. I wouldn't be surprised by like an over here. I think I'm staying away, but if I would be forced to play, I'd play the under 2.5 goals with each of the last 6 matches, I think, in this venue between the two sides producing under 2.5 goals. So, yeah, if I'm on this game, I'll probably take the under.
I absolutely, maybe it's my age. I don't remember exactly what Nick said about this game, but if all three of you guys are against me on this one, then I'm feeling good just because, it's a consensus thing. So I'd rather go with the one opinion than the three. So I'm not slacking you guys. I'm just saying it's great that we don't all agree on the same game because that's an auto fade, I think, if we did. Let's go to the big game of the weekend, Man United and Liverpool. The number here, Man United plus 175. The draws plus 260. Liverpool are favorites at plus 137. The total is 2.5. I'm a little confused on Liverpool being favored here, while I do think Man United have other things in mind, which is obviously a Leg 1 game today at home at Old Trafford against Italian side AS Roma. They're locked into a Champions League spot in second place, and that's probably where they're going to finish this PL season, in second place. So I'm going to reserve my judgment on what to do this weekend, really, until I see how League 1 goes here. If they easily beat Roma, then I would probably look at them starting their full team on the weekend. This is a rivalry, at least the fans, as far as the fans are concerned. The Man United fans would love nothing better than to see their team put a nail in the coffin of Liverpool's Champions League hopes. Give me your thoughts on this game.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand the line, Liverpool being favoured here, not in terms, obviously, of how these two teams are playing right now, as you'd certainly have to favour United in that regard over the last couple of games, but, more in terms of the situation surrounding this game. You said United play tonight against Rome in the Europa League at home, so not much turnaround for them ahead of Sunday's game against Liverpool. But, some small consolation at least is that they won't have to travel. Both games are at home. I think a lot of Manchester United's focus for this game will be set depending on what happens on Saturday in the City Crystal Palace game, which we just talked about. If City win that game, I think even though, you bust out your calculator and technically there's still a minuscule chance of United still winning the title, we know it's over in all but name. So however, though, if City should trip up for whatever reason on Saturday against Palace, especially if it's a loss, you definitely feel that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and the players might give a best effort here on Sunday, because there is that glimmer of daylight in an effort to close that gap on the leaders. If this was anyone else but United, even City, I'd probably take Liverpool here to win, as this game is an absolute must-win for them here as they look to get back into Europe for next season. But as you said, Carmine, United and Liverpool is probably the biggest rivalry in English sports, and one of the biggest rivalries in Europe. Even when either team hasn't been at their best historically, Liverpool in the 90s, early 2000s, for example, or less than focused for a game. This is still a series that has produced some absolutely terrific games. Obviously, no fans is a bit of a downbeat, but, across multiple decades, these teams always have fantastic clashes. And even if United find themselves with tired legs and little to play for here, I certainly do not expect them to just roll over for Liverpool. So kind of waiting to see what happens in the City game on Saturday. Taking Liverpool, possibly if City win, is a fairly solid strategy ahead of this game, as United might just look to double down on the Europa League and not risk any injuries if City win on Saturday. As Liverpool United has always been a pretty fiercely contested game, so we could see some tackles in this one. But overall, if I had to bet this game right now, I'm taking the outright draw plus 260, as I can definitely see like a 1-1 type of affair, scrappy affair. And, as I said, I just don't see United sleeping on Liverpool, despite the fact that they're they're safe in European contention and so on. So, yeah, I think the draw offers the best value for me in this one, plus 260.
Yeah. And Pavlos, 6 of the last 9 games between these two in league play, in Premier League play, have been draws. They've resulted in draws, and obviously low-scoring draws. They're 0-0 or 1-1 draws. So the plus 260 does kind of look entertaining. Give me your thoughts.
Yeah, I love it. You guys made some great points. Liverpool, they've only won one of the last 15 matches as visitors against United in the past decade. They have just 1 win, 10 losses, and 4 draws. So that win was back in 2014. They get United in between their Europa League matches. So you never know what happens today. Maybe United lose to Roma today. Who knows? And maybe they'll have to win next week. So it's really weird. Kevin made some great points about waiting to see what City do on Saturday. So my opinion for this match is Liverpool with minus a quarter goal at plus 110, but it's not my favorite match of the weekend. There's much better matches for me to predict and watch. So maybe this would be a fine match to watch on TV. But as far as money goes, I think I'll stay away. If I would have to play anything, I'd go with Liverpool here, minus a quarter goal.
All right, Nick, we are giving you the final word on this game. Tell me where you're going on this game or your thoughts.
Well, I don't have much disagreement with the guys. I mean, situation not in United's favor. Liverpool, well, this is everything for them. This is a lot of their season right here on the line. I do suggest like a slightly different way to play this. Kevin brings up the draw, which I do think is a good result here. A 1-1 correct score is plus 600. The draw plus 260 or so. So I think those are good ways to play it. So on that premise, I was looking at taking. I don't see Liverpool losing. So if you take the double chance on Liverpool, which is then plus a half a goal, and combine it with under 3.5 goals, it's around minus 105 right now. And 17 of the last 19 head-to-head meetings between these two teams has stayed under 3.5 goals. So a lot of the times when you see these big clubs clash, they're low-scoring type of games, and I think this could be very well that tight, as Kevin likes to say, tight KG affair. So Liverpool plus a half a goal or double chance, and under 3.5 is close to even money. And just for those trying to figure out this play and where to do it, you got to check your book. So like DraftKings, for example, you can't parlay anything with a spread like plus a half a goal. But when you find the double chance play, you can parlay that with the total goals. So you just got to figure out how to do that. But I think that's the way to play this game. I don't see Liverpool losing, but I also don't necessarily want to bet them winning. So I like the plus half goal insurance.
All right, some great info from Nick Borrman, and he has a 5% play up today in Europa League. Use coupon code EURO15, that's EURO15, and you can get $15 off that play. Those games go today at 3 p.m. Eastern time, so head over to WagerTalk.com and you'll find that Nick's play available there, and that is the coupon code. All right, guys, last game of the 4 we're going to cover today. Everton, Aston Villa. Everton, even money, plus 100. The draw is plus 260. Aston Villa is also plus 260. And the total here is 2.5. This Everton side, while picking up some draws, have been sneaking back up that PL table and have an outside shot of catching Chelsea. They are 6 points back of Chelsea for 4th spot with a game in hand. So it's very important that they win this game. And then they've got to hope that Chelsea somehow stumble in one of their games where Chelsea still have a very tough schedule, having to play Man City, Arsenal, and Leicester City to close out their season. So 3 big games there. So they're going to have to hope for a little bit of help. But, Pavlos, I'm going to go right back to you on this one. Aston Villa, they've sprung some surprises this year, but this is a game that Everton needs. And while they haven't played the greatest at home this season, what are your thoughts on this game? Do they get a win here?
Well, they definitely need a win here because they're on the back end of a 5 or 6 team train that will decide the places between the 4th and maybe the 7th places that the last Champions League spot, the 2 Europa League spots, and the Conference League spot. So Everton have 52 points, Tottenham have 53, Liverpool have 54, West Ham have 55, and Chelsea have 58. So the last 5 matches of this campaign, are going to be really exciting. We simply can't predict who goes where. So yeah, Everton, they definitely need a win here. However, they've been in poor form lately. Their away win against Arsenal put an end to their 6-match winless streak. They had 3 draws and 3 losses prior to that win. So maybe they'll get some good form now in the final 5 matches of the season. Starting tonight, Aston Villa, they still have a theoretical chance to make it to the top 7, but they are 8 points behind with 3 other teams in between. So I don't think that they'll have a fighting chance. Maybe they'll win here and just cause an upset and maybe put themselves in contention, but I don't think so. I think that Everton have the better chances to win here. Aston Villa, they started the season very, very good on the road. I think they had 5 wins and a loss in their first 6 away matches in the season. However, lately they won just one of their last 8 EPL matches. Actually, 2 of their last 8 EPL matches. So they've been sliding lately. Grealish is out, which is a major blow for Aston Villa. It's their talismanic, midfielder, forward type of guy who creates all the chances. So it's not my favorite match again. But if I had to play this match, I'll go with Everton plus 105. Minus 105. Here.
All right, yeah, and I love all the points you made. And this is an Aston Villa team that we remember last year. They weren't in the position they were, Nick, this year. I think it was on the final weekend of the season or the second last weekend of the season where they basically stayed up. They got a win that was needed and survived relegation for another year. So that's not something that is a problem this year. And Nick, just before I go to you, you always talk about, if you want to know how good a team is, or you can gauge how good a team is look at their away form compared to their home form. And it's kind of the reverse here. Everton, 10-3-3 on the road this season, but you get home and they have the 15th best record at home at 5-4-7. And those 7 losses are probably why they find themselves on the outside looking in right now on a top 4 spot. What do you think?
You say 15th best, but that sounds kind of good. It's the 5th worst. That sounds better. They are a head-scratching team. To me, the way I sum them up is kind of like how Kevin was trying to sum up Chelsea is they play better in the underdog role. No, Chelsea's not an underdog, but they play better when they're playing up to their competition versus trying to, play a team that they should be beating. I mean, they have home losses this year in the favorite role against Burnley, against Fulham, against Newcastle, against Leeds. I just don't trust them laying money here, at home. Yes, they need to win, but you know what? Maybe you can make the argument Aston Villa needs to win more. I mean, they're outside. They're pretty far back. They're 8 points back, but this is the game. If they win, they stay alive. If they lose, it's over. Everton can survive here without that. So, I mean, this is everything full forward, full attack. Give everything you got for Villa, and this is their season. So on that note, both teams have a lot to play for here. I just simply don't trust Everton in this spot. I backed Everton in 3 straight games, cashed them all, but they were all underdog roles. So I just don't like the situation for them here. You mentioned their home record. I mean, 5 wins, 4 draws, 7 losses at home, -3 goal differential. Villa's been pretty solid on the road. 7 wins, 3 draws, only 6 losses, and a +6 goal differential. I like the +0.5 goal here on Villa. I think they can at least play this thing out to a draw and perhaps sneak away all 3 points.
Yeah, and that's the thing this season with some of these sides. If you do not take care of business at home, which where you normally play extremely well, you find yourself on the outside looking in, and that's the problem with Liverpool this year at Anfield, a fortress for them in years past, and this year they went through a spell where 4 or 5 losses in a row, I believe it was. They never dropped points like that. Kev, I'm going to give you the final word on this one, Kevin. Give me your thoughts on this game.
Jesus, only my mom calls me Kevin. Look, Nick nailed it. I don't know how you could trust Everton at home here at even money. Just 19 points at Goodison from a possible 48. 1 win in their last 9 there as well. But, by the same token, as Pavlos said, since losing Jack Grealish to injury, this Aston Villa team have really fell off the pace. So I'm going to take an absolute flyer in this game. That's Everton to come and win from behind a +800. You know, Everton have conceded the opening goal in 8 of the last 13 competitive home matches here, and 6 of the last 7 head-to-heads between these two have produced a goal after the 75th minute. So I'm expecting some late drama here, and I like that big price of plus 800. Aston Villa go up early, Everton come back and win the game 8-1. Nice price. So yeah, Everton to win from behind, plus 800 for me.
All right,
Good
that's
angle.
awesome, guys. For you that tuned in, thanks for watching. Listen, we do have one last promo. That's the MLS promo. It's up on the Cappers pages. You can get 30 days of plays for $99. That expires this weekend. 30 days for $99, normally $199. Nick has a 5% play today in Europa League. Euro 15 is the code for that one. And tonight in NBA action, Kevin Dolan has a 5% play. So head over to WagerTalk.com and support these guys. We'll see you next Tuesday as we cover the Leg 2s of Champions League and Europa League. Guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next Tuesday.
Sign up for the free WagerTalk text club to gain access to free plays and exclusive discounts. Just text WagerTalk to 33222 to sign up and get a $10 coupon to use on WagerTalk.com.